It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Where You Live with Gene and Tony. We are brought to you this hour by Extreme Exteriors. We're broadcasting from the Concierge Landscape Studios, and we're having a great discussion today. The topics on Hour 2 here, we're going to be talking next with an individual who is a member of a luxury high-rise condo association. And folks, I think everybody, Tony, thinks that they have problems with their homeowners association, with difficult people. But man alive, there are some real doozies here, and we're going to talk to an individual. And maybe, if nothing else, folks, some of you will probably just be able to commiserate with this individual with some of the things that they've had to endure. We're also going to be talking a little bit later on in the show, too, about what happens when the developer turns things over to the association, but already had contracts in place, and the homeowners are screaming, saying, hey, we're paying too much money. We didn't have any say in these contracts. What happens? What can you do? We're going to be dealing with that as well. Let me just also say to our listeners here in the second hour, we have a free subscription, a newsletter called What's New. A lot of the topics we cover are covered in further detail. All you need to do is give us a call during the week at New Concepts at 952-922-2500. Ask for Courtney. She'll make sure that you start receiving your subscription, either sent in the mail or electronic copy sent by email. Over 18,000 folks have signed up for that newsletter.
I also want to encourage our listeners to leave us a message on our hotline, 952-224-2668. Tell us your opinion. Tell us what you think about things we've said on the air or topics we've discussed on the air. Let us know. Leave your questions, too. 952-224-2668. Yes.
Well, let's get into our next story, and this has to do with a high-rise homeowners association in Indiana called the Harbors, and it is. And I've seen pictures of it online too. It looks like a wonderful place to live, but not so much with some of the people that are living there. And to give us a better idea of some of the things that are going on, we're happy to have with us here on Where You Live with Gene and Tony, Kathy Quiggins. Hello, Kathy.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi,
Good.
Kathy.
Thanks for being on the show with us today.
Okay.
Well, let's begin, Kathy. Give our listeners a little bit of an idea. What are some of the things that have been going on at your HOA?
Well, I think the best place to start is that we have a group of about 15 people that live here out of the 184 condos that are here, and they have pretty much made up their mind that they're just not going to follow the rules, and nobody's going to tell them what to do, and they're going to fight every way they can and do everything they can to stop the board from having any say-so in what goes on around here. And as we all know, you can't live in an area like this or a condo without some rules.
That's right. So
these people have really made everybody miserable.
And you said it's about 15 owners out of the 184.
That's correct.
This is a real minority. This is under 10%, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. It's that may not be the exact number, but it's close.
We were just saying earlier in the show that we think it's about a 20-80 in most homeowners associations. That
I think that would be about right.
Yeah.
There's always a minority of the folks that seem to have sway or control with what takes place. Why do you think that is, Kathy?
Well, I think you've got your people you've got your homeowners here that are living here. They don't even hardly know there's a board of directors.
Yeah.
They're the smart ones, I guess.
Yeah.
Then you've got the people that are very involved in the board of directors, and you've got the people that are on the board of directors.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
you know, there's some people here that we've got all ages. We've got yuppies, we've got young working people, we've got older retired people. There's some people that just go in and out of the building and go about their business, and they're not even really totally aware of all this.
Yeah. Well, tell me this. Every association I've ever worked with or worked for, there's always there's a handful of people that are not happy with the way things are going on. What are the issues at your association that are causing the trouble?
I think if you really set these people down and tried to ask them, what do you want, I don't even know if they could tell us. But I think some of the issues might be one of the leaders of the bunch was originally she was in the office in the management, and she was let go, and she's kind of got it started from there. And
so that really could be sounds like could be one of the real defining moments here for someone who just got upset, and they just now kind of have an axe to grind, huh?
Right, and so it just continues to go on and on, and these certain people that lead this group are just they have cost us so much money, and they've cost themselves money, not to mention what they've done to our real estate values.
That's a great point, Kathy,
Wow.
that people don't understand that when they go against their homeowners association, they're just not costing trouble and money for others. They're also bringing that back on themselves because they're a member of that association as well.
Well, we've had to put out about $30,000 this year alone in security cameras because there's been 5 board members' windows broken in their cars in the parking areas. My husband's windows have been broke twice. We've had sugar put in our gas tank. We now have better security.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
Yeah, that money comes.
Paid for.
That's right.
And it was. Go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say, this is where your homeowners association kind of takes a step off into the twilight zone,
right?
Because this
and
physical
we have
damage.
One of these people that's on this, that's in this bunch, that has stepped in front of the legislation in Indianapolis, in Indiana, and has gotten a law passed that to take more rights away from management and the board, and so that it did pass.
Well, but we've certainly kept track with a lot of legislation in different states, and there have been a few in Indiana too. And it's unfortunate, but because there's legislation that's brought forth at the state level, doesn't mean that it's needed. It just means that there's someone who was well organized to be able to bring something up.
Well, we also have had these people put in about between 20 and 25 complaints to the Attorney General here in Indiana. Against the harbors, which has cost a lot of money and a lot of time. They've come in and checked on a lot of it. Most of it is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It doesn't stand up. But it just seems like every day they've got a new trick for us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, one of these individuals that's in this dissident group, it hasn't been clear that all of the vandalism, all of the cars that had windows broken were done by this individual, but they do have it on tape that this individual did it to at least one vehicle, and he admitted to this kind of activity.
And his wife is probably what I would call the big mama of the group.
Really?
Mrs. Betty Cantrell has really been, she's the leader, and she kind of leads it from the background, but she's pretty much the leader.
Yeah.
And yes, he did get caught on camera, and he's only admitted to one. And I don't know if you've also seen any of the information on the pool incident.
We heard something. Tell us about that.
Tell us a little bit about the pool incident.
This is unbelievable. We have one of their group. We call her their pit bull. This woman is 72 years old, and she will tell you up front that she can do anything she wants to do whenever she wants to do it, and there's nobody going to stop her. And she's pretty much proven that to be true.
We've heard that.
She goes around just doing all kinds of things, screaming and yelling at people, calling them names, calling staff names, calling the board members names. Anybody that doesn't agree with her and her group, of course, we're up for that. We know we're probably when we run into her, something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen.
So what happened with the pool
she
incident?
She was in the swimming pool with a friend this summer in the 98-degree heat outside, and we have an indoor swimming pool and an outdoor swimming pool here. Mm-hmm. The indoor swimming pool is, of course, it's controlled. The temperature's controlled. And so she had decided the water, I don't know what she decided, something was wrong with the water, so she decides to throw open all the doors to the outside and let all the heat in. Well, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Right.
So our maintenance manager, the manager of the building asked our maintenance manager to please go and see what was going on and close the doors, which he did. Mm-hmm. And she immediately started screaming and jumping up and down and yelling at him. She's always yelling at him about something. She has a restraining order against her for our building manager from an incident that happened a while back where she went in her office and knocked her glasses off of her and stretched her sweater. Took 3 men to pull her off of our manager.
Oh, my gosh.
So there was a tussle with this woman and the maintenance guy.
The manager was standing behind our maintenance manager, and this Betty Haley saw her. She came out of the pool to go after her, even with a restraining order, and our maintenance manager jumped in between them, and she jumped on him, and he pushed her, and she went in the pool.
Yeah. So the story in the press was that he pushed her in the pool.
Yeah.
Right, and her lawyer saying all she was trying to do is to get past him to go get her husband, come and help her, which is just it's all on tape.
Yeah. Kathy, we've got to take a quick break right now, but can you hang over with us to another segment?
Sure.
Folks, we're talking to Kathy Quiggins at the harbors. Restraining orders, broken windows to cars, just an average day at the harbors. We're going to talk about this in further detail with Mrs. Higgins after these messages.